land.
Are you tuning, Marv?
Yes, one sec. John game.
What?
I seriously hope I won't be lagging.
I'm going to join now.
Both Vic and Saffron asked me if I was doing Tomatoland at like nearly the exact same time with the exact same wording.
About what if you're doing what?
Tomatoland.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Oh, go away.
actually, where's Go Away? I haven't seen that guy in a while. Where's Go
I
Away?
don't know, he's still around, he's just inactive.
No.
Better go check.
Better go check.
Alright, well, as we are starting, I suppose I shall start reading as well.
What is the card name?
You guys have
Tomato.
fundraising.
It's a fucking tomato. Okay.
This book has been a long time coming.
I mean,
Tomatoes, or at least gardens, have played a significant role in my life for many years. One of my first recollections is of carrying a watering can around in a neighbor's driveway at the tender age of 2. I spent many weekend days at a local park, riding on my father's shoulders as he lifted me up to smell the tree blossom. At other times, he walked me through the flower bed, pointing out the vividly blooming dahlias, zinnias, and marigolds. Yeah, let's skip over the boring. Alright, let's go. Of today's tomato. Imagine kitchen gardens at different points in time. If we look back 5,000 years, we might find corn, potatoes, peppers, and onions. Indeed, we could take it back another 5,000 years and still find potatoes. What is missing, of course, is the tomato. Few people today are likely to realize the relative youth of tomatoes in the gardening and culinary world. Here is how it happened.
the fuck are you reading? Are you reading a story or a
Chapter
fact?
number 1. Tomatoes come to North America. The Mayans and other Mesoamerican people domesticated the tomato plant and first used it in cooking. A mutation was likely responsible for converting the small two-chambered wild types into the larger, lumpy multi-chamber that represents the vast majority of today's tomato. Tomato and developed by Central American farmers. The Aztecs had named the plant Zitomatl, or large tomato. The tomato had a reputation for being poisonous, as some believe this to be true even today, but actual published opinions of such are very rare prior to the 18th century. In fact, Andrew Smith, in doing research for his excellent book, The Tomato in America, found only a few such references. Among them was reprinted British medical work that represented obsolete beliefs in England, and a statement made by Thomas Jefferson's grandson indicating that the tomato was considered poisonous when his grandfather, that in 1834 expressed distortions and exaggeration. The health benefits of tomatoes seem to mark the beginning of the wave of tomato popularity that continues
Oh my god,
unabated today.
I might make a skin of this as a pumpkin. For Halloween. No!
Using dental floss. Flossing your teeth is just as important as it
Wait.
removes bacteria
And
and food particles.
weren't
in
we
the
talking about like
Copy.
tomatoes?
Is Andor lagging for you guys?
A little. Yeah, it's lagging a little. No? Bye, Dino.
Dental floss awkward to you, or you have braces, look for dental picks,
Tomato!
which you can insert between teeth achieving the floss.
Ender, you're cutting out and the sentences are getting forward, not actually talking about dental floss. So be careful.
So he was lagging for you guys.
Yeah!
Okay.
It sounds fine to me.
Doesn't sound fine anymore to me.
Alright, page number 18. Anatomy of a Tomato. British journalist Miles Kingdom once said, "Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad." But as clever as that sounds, the lines are now blurred, as we contemplate tomatoes so sweet that they can be made into ice cream. Or festoon our dinner salads, with strawberries and pears sitting happily alongside the sun golds and Mexico midgets and veggies of tiger toms.
Okay,
Tomato colors. The diversity in tomato shapes and sizes is fascinating, but the real fun arrives when considering the incredible rainbow of color options available in tomatoes today. I enthusiastically tasted my first non-red tomatoes in 1987 when
And
I
we
grew
should make a wish
pepper
twice, actually.
excellent yellow and lemon boy, ruby gold and pineapple.
You should make a British voice
was
reading
so
that, actually.
exciting, and the beauty of the fruit inspired us to find ways to take advantage of their appearance in our cooking. Tomato flavors. Tomatoes tasted the same, we would still be able to enjoy the wide varieties of shapes, sizes, uses and colors. But what makes it all the more enjoyable is the amazing array of flavor nuances. To my palate, the most distinctive tomato flavor characteristics are tartness compared with sweetness, flavorfulness compared with blandness, and complexity compared with simplicity. Each of these characteristics is on a continuum as well, which makes the flavor combinations and impacts endless.
What?
Tomato seed types. Which type of tomato?
Good.
Which type of tomato to grow? Hybrid, heirloom, or
There you
non-hybrid?
go.
Open
Tomato.
pollination depends on the expectations of the gardener. If your interest is primarily in growing a high-yield food supply garden, and you have no interest in
Somebody isn't moving on the
is a reasonable approach.
shit.
If
For
your
the
goal
finish
is a
part.
great visual and culinary variety, open pollinated or heirloom tomato types
Whoa.
will provide everything you need, including the daunting task of selecting.
Fuck this car. this car. What's wrong with it, Frisk? Oh. Fuck!
11. Qui-Gon
I'm
runs
busy
through the
tomato.
strange landscape, glancing back to see the monster's troop transport.
It's a tomato boy.
Animals
Fuck.
begin to run past him in a panic. The frog-like Gungan, Jar Jar Binks, squats holding a clam he has retrieved from the murky swamp. The shell pops open. Jar Jar's Greta tongue snaps out and grabs the clam, swallowing it in
Hello.
one. Jar Jar looks up and sees Qui-Gon and the other creatures running like the
Where are we again?
What the fuck are we doing?
The huge MTT bears down on the Jedi like a charging locomotive. Jar Jar stands transfixed, still holding the clamshell in one hand. Oh no! Jar Jar drops the shell and grabs onto Qui-Gon as he passes. The Jedi is caught by surprise.
What
Hey,
the
help me! Help me! Let
What
go!
the fuck are you reading?
He is about to crush them as Qui-Gon drags Jar Jar behind him. Transport is about to hit. Qui-Gon drops and Jar Jar goes splat into the mud with him. Head. Jack. Front is a significant step toward ensuring a successful garden. The level of detail in the garden plan is up to each. After the initial random plan, you may want to consider what comes next. For example, those with longer growing seasons may consider a midsummer planting in order to extend the harvest. If you have a relatively short growing season for tomatoes, Careful planning to ensure that the plants are hitting their stride during the optimal temperatures is most important.
The fuck are you reading?
Step number
now?
2. Starting your own plants from seed. One of the most difficult parts of planning is to start from seed to what? Parts of planning to start from seed is simply selecting among the incredible array of available variety. There are many good sources for tomato seeds, the main ones being seed catalogs from both the major players and the smaller specialty companies, various internet sources, eBay, Craigslist, online shopping companies, tomato and garden discussion group message forums, and seed sharing organizations. These help you with all sorts of retail outlets as well as trade with other gardening friends. Step number 3.
Oh, okay.
Starting from purchased plants. There are many reasons to start with seedlings rather than starting your own seed. If you didn't plan ahead, don't have the desired seeds in hand, or have germination issues with the seed, you'll want to purchase tomato seed. Lately, the popularity of heirloom tomatoes has done wonders for the availability of seedlings, whether from seed companies, small seeding suppliers, or local farmers markets. The earliest distinct layer to show up in a recently formed soil is a dark-colored zone that extends downward for several inches from the surface. The dark color is due to the accumulation of well-decomposed organic matter or humus. A few percent of humus can turn a light gray or brown soil almost. Humus is found in soils: number 1, cool climate; number 2, in wet climates; and number 3, under grassland. It should be noted that the accumulation of well-decomposed organic matter typically found in the horizons of soil contains many nutrients known to satisfy the needs of plants. Avocados enjoy an environment high in decaying matter in the root zone. For adult trees, mulch from fallen leaves is often sufficient, but for younger trees, growers may need to add mulch. The previously mentioned soil types will generally have a neutral pH
I
between
wonder how many people
6.5
already
and 7.5,
and
which is optimum for best avocado growth and production. pH is a chemist's symbol that expresses the degree of acidity or alkalinity of a substance on a scale of 1 to 14, with 1 being the most acid and 14 being the most alkaline. Step number 5. Land selection. When the economic questions have been resolved, the location of
We are
suitable
wasting
lands is the
tomatoes
next
in the
order
garden.
of business. This is probably best accomplished due to the employment of a real estate broker and consultation with specialists from the Soil Conservation Service (USDA), who can offer expert knowledge on the suitability of land.
Do the flip!
Number 4. Land cleaning by machine. Brush removal by machine is usually performed on gentle slopes by using a bulldozer blade, dicing, or moving a... Many growers want the land ripped 18-inch to 36-inch deep to break up the old gopher runs, allow better water penetration, and bring to surface any rocks or roots that should be removed.
Zena!
Number 50.
I'm out.
The citizens of America
Let me
have now joined the great national effort to rebuild our country and restore its promise for all our people. Together we will determine the course of America for many. Together we will face challenges, we will confront hardships, but we will get the job. Every 4 years we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. And we are grateful to President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama for their gracious aid throughout this. They have been magnificent.
What?
Today's ceremony,
I'm
however,
confused.
has very
What the
special
fuck
meaning
are you
because
reading?
today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but transferring it to Washington DC and giving it back to the people.
No!
thought this was about
After
tomatoes.
150 Q&A. Is it risky to grow non-hybrid heirloom tomato varieties? Will they get disease? Is it safer to stick with hybrid
was talking
varieties?
about Jedi, so I
Not
don't...
necessarily. It depends on your goals. In general, many hybrid tomatoes were bred to handle various diseases. Flavor was often not the primary goal, setting up what seems to be a trade-off between yield and flavor. The response to this question has many dependencies, all related on how and where you garden and your particular goal. I was so interested in this kind of topic of hybrid versus heirloom that I undertook a detailed study, the results of which can be found on page 228.
Bye. Oh, okay. Nope. So much ego.
Page number 80. Variations on stacking and caging.
Oh yeah.
Most tomato varieties are indeterminate, meaning indefinitely growing until killed by frost or disease. They are often referred to as vining, but unlike most vines, they don't bind or adhere themselves to adjacent structures to be supported and secured. Since vertical support removes most of the plant and all contact with the soil, it minimizes a mode of disease entry to the plant, as long as the area around the plant is well moved.
Oh yeah.
To prune or not to prune? Aside from questions on my favorite tomato varieties, I am most often asked about pruning and suckering of tomato plants. Suckers, or side shoots, are additional fruiting stems that emerge all along the plant at the junction of the main stem and leaf stem. If the leaf stem emerges from the main stem at an approximate 90-degree angle, sucker will be at a 45-degree angle. The reason that indeterminate tomato plants grow out of control so quickly is that the suckers themselves go on to produce suckers, and the plant can become densely complex by mid-season.
Tomato fact.
Fertilizing, perhaps the most important step so far. Garden soil that has adequate nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium will grow great tomatoes. The ideal ratio of these three key nutrients is 1:4:2, highest in phosphorus. Too much nitrogen promotes foliar growth.
Was that it, Vic?
There are specific fertilizers for tomatoes. However, use of any fertilizer should be based on the need. What the early soil test tells you, what your past experience has been, and plant performance during the season. If you produce and sell your own compost, working it into the soil around your plants a few times each season may be all you need. And now, kids, get on to the actual real part and why I actually wanted to talk about tomatoes. First off, listen up. There's nothing meme about smoking cigarettes. It's not Netflix and chill to take a drug. Alright, kids, go to church. 85% of students would rather plant marijuana than smoke marijuana. Please don't touch the devil's cabbage. Instead, grow tomatoes.
Or smoked tomatoes. Jesus!
Company back in 1987. The plants were indeterminate and less than 5 feet tall, and they produced tomatoes that were only 3 or 4 ounces. Not at all what was described in other references. A few years later, I grew out seedlings from another supplier, and I thought I didn't exhibit the unique bronze or purplish cast noted in the book entry. It was certainly indeterminate, and the fruit were large, closer to a pound. The flavor was quite delicious, of course. There was no way to confirm that this was Abraham Lincoln as released by the Buckbee Company in
Somebody already got the
1923.
star? What? Yep.
Now on to my favorite tomato, the Big Boy. I include the Big Boy here and in my garden purely as a testament to its historical importance. Though not strictly the first hybrid tomato, the Big Boy was certainly the first wildly popular revolutionary hybrid tomato. Released in 1949, it was part of Americana following the end of the World War II that boosted morale and in a way defined the victory garden. Big Boy had an impact on tomato size, yield, future breeding efforts, and seed company focus going forward. Big Boy seed companies, the USDA, and university agricultural programs involve breeding a new tomato variety which work towards releasing stable, open pollinated types that could be replicated from saved seeds. On to the most important step. Step number 5, harvest celebration. Of all the hard work is now behind you, so you think anyway. The journey that began many months ago is beginning the lengthy, we hope, payoff period. Harvest time often begins utterly unexpectedly with a flash of color deep among the dense lower foliage of one of the tomato plants. One day, the tomatoes are hard and green, the dinner plates are yet to be decorated with the anticipated harvest, and the stomach rumbling with anticipation.
Well,
Now, a word from our sponsor as we move.
okay.
I think the person who wrote all that really likes
And,
tomatoes.
Thank you
I can tell.
for waiting. And with that being said, their
Well,
victories have
everyone.
not been your victories; they've been your triumphs. While they have celebrated little to celebrate for struggling families across our, that all changes starting right here and right now, because this moment is our moment. It belongs to you.
Whee!
Everyone gathered here and everyone watching all across America. This is your day, this is your celebration. And this, the United States of America, is
That's
your
right.
country. Today, January 20th, 2017, will be remembered as the day the people became rulers of this nation again. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
Sorry!
Everyone is listening to you now. We are one nation, and their pain is our pain. Their dreams are our dreams. We share one nation, one hope, and one glorious destiny. Today I take an oath of allegiance to all Americans. For many decades we've enriched foreign industry at the expense of American industry, subsidized the armies of other countries while allowing the sad own military. One by one, shutters have closed on our factories without even a thought about the millions of people who have been left behind. But that is the past, and now we are only looking into the future.
No, tomato!
Is that the California Rare Fruit Growers is a dedicated group of enthusiasts and hobby growers that are always looking for just an exceptional tree. Be it an avocado or any other kind that produces better fruit than what we now have. Towards this end, 2 avocado varieties have been named the California Rare Fruit Growers.
Avocados?
The
Why
first
are you reading
of Orton
tomatoes?
H. Engelhart of Escondido, who introduced it under the name Creeper and registered it on December 2nd, 1974. Weighing from 10 to 16 ounces, with a small seed and flesh of a very fine. The second was registered on July 4th, 1977 under the name of Stearns, and was found in the early 1920s by Joseph Stearns, who propagated and years.
The fucking. What? Turbo! Gotta catch up! No.
In all avocados, there are a certain percentage of the
Go. Oh, fuck it. Fuck! Aw.
The following harvest next year should be made after the August drop, which is the last drop that can be expected before the fruit matures. It will mature to a full crop. And now on to page 19, red 250 recommended tomatoes. With thousands of tomato varieties to choose from, where does one start? The following list contains some of my favorites, organized by color, as well as some recent developments, varieties that are historically important, and those that are very popular and widely adapted. Consider it as a starting point for your own tomato exploration. I'm just going to list off my favorites. First of all, we have, of course, the Big Boy, and we have the Better Boy, then we have Celebrity, and the classic Bulgarian Triumph with its globe shape and medium size, perfect for any kind of. Then we have Grape. That's an odd name for a tomato, isn't it? It's not quite a grape. I don't know who named this. And then we have the giant cereal. That's Vile Cherry, Mayo's Delight, the Mexico Midget, and of course the Russian 117. Russian 117, of course, is easily identifiable by its heart shape and large size, which grows in the late season and often is very in flavor. There are also some pink varieties of tomatoes for all the females out there. We have, of course, Arkansas Traveler, Farf Champion, and Ferris Wheel.
What the?
Alright. But you might be asking, grow, maintenance, and care after tomatoes. First of all, we have to talk about growing in the garden. Before raised beds, self-watering containers, and driveways full of pots, I suspect most people went into the yard, turned over a big rectangle of lawn, and created a garden. This is the way I grew tomatoes for many years. In rows or hills in a big patch of fenced dirt that I enriched each year with additions of compost, or even better, mushroom compost, which is well worth seeking out. I dug holes, planted seedlings, and pounded stakes into the ground to provide vertical support, and the result of a few months later was the eagerly anticipated harvest. We were spoiled early on, that's for sure. All of our subsequent gardens had to be hand dug. It's not hard for me to remember how much work it involved. Cutting squares of sod, turning them over, chopping into smaller pieces, and finally tiling it all in. Our early gardens, on any given patch of ground, very successful because of the plethoras of untapped nutrients and absence of soil-borne tomatoes. We lived then in an area. Fuck does this say? It's so weird. We then lived in an area west of Philadelphia that received hard freezes each winter, so despite limited opportunity to rotate tomatoes into new areas of the garden each year, we saw no significant drop-off in productivity or increase in disease issues. And of course, now we are going to have another little word from our sponsor. Kids,
Jesus.
listen up. There's nothing meme about smoking cigarettes. It's not Netflix and chill to take a drug. Please kids, go to school, listen to your teachers, go to church every day, every time. Iguana, avoid the marijuana. 85% of Spartans smoke marijuana. And now, as we get back to our regular program, testing your nutrient content, mainly nitrogen and potassium. What in the fuck? Mainly nitrogen and potassium, phosphorus, and pH level will be very informative and helpful, particularly if your garden has failed you in the just a year or two of growing most kinds of vegetables in a garden plot is enough to deplete nutrients and necessitate a nutritional boost. Compost. All soil can be improved by adding compost. In fact, any kind of organic matter that absorbs and holds water or provides air spaces will change things. These are numerous. Composted animals, animal manure, cow, horse, chicken or rabbit, composted leaves, grass clippings, and homemade compost from kitchen scraps. The general guideline for soil is that it must drain well, but hold water long enough for the plant to utilize. Whether the soil is too heavy or too sandy, adding organic matter in the form of compost will help. It is recommended that fresh manure not be used as it could burn the roots and harm the plants, though there are different schools thought.
The wheels have
Growing in raised beds are a way to build up the soil in an in-ground garden in order to avoid poorly draining or otherwise poor quality soil. You may also choose to build up the soil only in certain spots. In this way, a garden can have areas of elevation where needed, and the materials used to create a raised area, such as bagged or a bulk topsoil and/or compost, can be of a higher quality or different material than those that make for the rest of the garden. Or you can build raised beds for the entirety of your garden, of course. Going mobile. Growing in containers. Because of the geography of your yard, you may find that there is no place to site a garden where it will receive enough sunlight to grow tomatoes. Fortunately, it is possible to have great success by bringing plants to the sun, whether or not that's on a deck, by patio, or dry. Simply by growing in containers, even if you have enough sun, you might want to use containers. If you have a buildup of disease in your soil,
Or you live in an apartment.
summer, and if
You're wagging so
sufficient
much,
growth
Andrew.
was made by the bud, the trees were ready for digging in the spring. An 80 was used to dig around the tree and remove an 8-inch to 9-inch diameter tapered ball of dirt containing the roots. So far for the moisture necessary to seeds, the influence of gravity on soil
Tomatoes!
moisture causes it to drain downward. Pains to acquaint himself with the behavior of irrigation water on and in the soils of growing areas of the ranch. Overripen problem in avocado or
The ranch.
excess moisture causes
And
lack
First already gave up!
resulting in root rot or accentuating the spread of root rot in infected soils. Good irrigation water management will prevent either insufficient or excessive soil moisture. In years of heavy rainfall, buried drain lines may solve the problems of excessive soil moisture and prevent tree loss. Careful attention to irrigation is necessary to produce good results with avocado trees. During the summer and fall, when temperatures are high with a strong dry wind blowing, it will be necessary to irrigate continuously with a drip system to supply enough water to replace the water lost from leaf transpiration. Under Santa Ana conditions, the tree roots
Wait,
the tree roots may not be able to absorb the water fast enough to prevent wilting of the leaves and stems of new is adequate. This wilting is not so evident on older growth that has hardened off, but trees will still be under stress. During the winter, the rainy season, drip irrigation may be reduced considerably when rainfall is sufficient to provide for. But with that being said, there is
and you're cutting out a lot, so...
these and that will start winning again. America will start winning like never before. We will bring back our jobs, we will bring back our homes, we will bring back our wealth, we will bring back our dreams. We will shine for everyone to follow. We will reinforce old alliances and form new ones and untie the world against radical Islamic terror, which we will eradicate from the face of the earth. At the bedrock of our politics will be an allegiance to the United States, and we will discuss discover new allegiance to each other. There is no room for. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. Your voice, your
all of this
hopes
by
and
growing
dreams will
tomatoes.
define your
Yeah.
American destiny.
Tomatoes.
Your courage, goodness, and love will forever guide us along the way. Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America great again. We will make America wealthy again. And thank you. Bless you and
Fuck are you eating?
Tomatoes for Trump.
these instruments, which
Well,
are easily damaged because
they
they
don't-
are rather delicate. Covering them with an old bucket or a picking box may protect them from grove operations and also from any possible cold damage that might occur during an unusual freeze. As the trees grow and emitters are added or sprinkles are changed to increase the wetted area, tensiometer stations will need to be relocated appropriately. If you plan to invest in and use tensiometers to measure oil moisture, it's probably to ask the tensiometer company fieldman to participate in planning the location and installation of the instruments at the selected even though you know that they will have to be relocated several times until the trees mature. You will also want to acquire a service to enable you to check the vacuum and to renew the colored water in the instrument. By regularly taking readings, charting the data and servicing the instruments, a grower can come to a better understanding of his or her land. The Phantom Menace is a comeback 19 years after the original Episode 4 aired into theaters. Use Qui-Gon Jinn, a Jedi Master, Padme Amidala,
Why?
Naboo, and Jar Jar Binks, a clumsy and annoying character that people say Lucas never should have invented. We disagree! Exclamation mark. Shh! This sprung a new trilogy for a new generation.
Tomatoes.
Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. This is the finale, the last stroke, the bashing note before the bow in a performance. As we finally see the transition to Vader, Anakin faces new trials and comes to an unwise conclusion. Watching the immense battle astonish one as it leaves them speechless. Privacy and cookies. This site uses cookies. By continuing to use this site, you are agreeing to their use. To find out more, including on how to control cookies, click here. What are cookies? Cookies are small pieces of data stored in text files that are stored on your computer or assets are loaded in a browser. Turn your preferences either for a single visit through a session cookie or for multiple repeat visits using a persistent cookie. They ensure a consistent and efficient experience for visitors and perform essential functions such as allowing users to register and remain logged in. Cookies may be set by the site that you are visiting, known as first-party cookies, or by third parties, such as those who serve content or provide advertising or analytic services on the website. Third-party cookies. We use cookies for a number of different purposes. Some cookies are necessary for technical reasons. Some enable a personalized experience for both visitors and registered users. And some allow
others
the
you might
display
eat when you're hungry.
of advertising.
Why eat a cookie when you can eat a tomato?
May be set when it is loaded or when a visitor takes a particular action. Clicking the like or follow button on a post, for example.
Did you know that red lightsabers are powered by tomatoes?
I can tell now.
That being said, we can for Downpatch and racegoers brought a touch of elegance and sparkle to Ladies' Day at Downpatrick yesterday. 10 race days are held every year at the Co-Down course, and Ladies' Day is always a highlight of the Downpatrick course program. Fashion-conscious fans from all over Ireland, both male and female, competed to win a range of honors. They included most appropriately dressed lady, most stylish hat, accessories, and best dressed gentleman. The first Downpatrick race meeting was originally held more than 300 years ago, in 1685, and races have been taking place on present course for more than 2,000. about Netflix and chill. Unknown to the 61-year-old broadcaster, the term is an internet slang term for some form of sex, with Wikipedia describing it as either a part of a romantic partnership or a booty call. Good Morning Ulster's Noel was interviewing a 17-year-old co-Antrim schoolgirl who spends most of her spare time volunteering and is the latest recipient of a Diana Award named in memory of the late Princess Di, and which recognizes a young person's social action and humanitarian. Listeners took to Twitter the Good Morning Ulster about the cringe making, with Mark Reel tweeting them. Noel obviously doesn't know that Netflix and chill actually means
Mark.
something. Also tweeted them a link to an internet description of it, and Simon McCrory commented, "So awkward." Tony Ferris said, if someone needs to explain Netflix
God,
and chill to
it's
Noel, I'm going to laugh.
Read, please. You're a bit late, but okay.
The speakeasy. This is not an actual article.
Then I have to read.
Where we place cookies, we set cookies in a number of different locations across our services. These include on our websites during automatic.com, wordpress.com, vip.wordpress.com, jetpack.com, gravatar.com, intensedebate.com,
Jesus,
waldpress.com,
guys!
and akismat.com. In the administrative websites such as Calypso and VP app, on sites we host for our users, on sites that use our plugin. Category of cookies. Strictly necessary. Why we use these cookies, you ask? These cookies are essential for websites on our services to perform their basic functions. These include those required to allow registered users to authenticate and perform account-related functions, as well as to save contents of virtual cards on sites that have an e-commerce functionality.
Commerce.
Yeah, e-commerce, whatever, Miss Martman. Now a word from our sponsor, Listen Up, Dean. There's nothing mean about smoking cigarettes. It's not Netflix and chill to take a drug. Go to church, go to school, listen to your doctor, listen to your parents. Iguana, avoid the marijuana. 85% of students would rather pet an iguana than smoke marijuana.
Okay. The last one was better. The last
Ender.
sponsor.
Tell me, how is your throat? Because I think
Is that
my throat hurts just by listening to you,
Israel.
man.
Yeah.
I think a protest outside a West Belfast McDonald's Association. BS Ireland is hosting the protest to call on McDonald's to act sponsor of the IFA unless the organization cancels its upcoming drill at Windsor Park on Tuesday, September 11th. Meaning of it will be warming up your mind time in the foot. The East Antrim MP said it was making up your mind time for Sinn Féin, reference to the United Kingdom's 1981 Eurovision winner by Bucks Fizz, and warned that they did not soon decisions will be taken elsewhere. Israel will play host to the 2019 contest 2018 event in
You know
Lisbon.
that game, Getting Over It? It sounds like that,
Mrs.
actually.
Tennis said that the event should not be held due to the ongoing Israeli conflict. In recent years, increasing numbers of major anymore.
You shouldn't read that.
Yeah.
Oh! He left! No, this is not. Oh.
But I wanted to know what happened about Israel.
No.
I mean, he kidnapped it for like 45 minutes. That's admirable.
It was like, nope, you cannot read this. I just thought the party
Is someone
is just-
screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
Oh, that was close. Okay. Oh well.
Did you add the link to the event?
Yes.
Nice.
No. Oh, But you fucking slow down for God into me, dude.
What caused?
Ask him for the link, I guess.
I like that we can actually do reactions now.
Reactions to what?
To tomato shenanigans.
Okay.
What was the thing that like caused it? What?
Yeah, but I loved how Andrew went and
Well,
went into the halfway.
I tested the new feature on the website, and instead of a car class, you can enter whatever you want, and then it can say like, I wanted to test it if it works. And then I put in a tomato, and then it said, we'll be racing a tomato at 18 UTC.
So Kippy did a tomato, and we're now racing them.
You're racing a tomato. I might do a skin of this car for like a pumpkin.
I don't know if you can.
Oh, let's see. For Halloween, maybe. Ah!
5 laps is too many. 1 too many.
Tell that to Zino.
Danny is in the call.
We actually planned on doing 7 or even 10 laps.
Jesus!
Yeah.
Lagerrock, Andrew is in the call.
To be
What?
fair, we only have 2 tracks left, and that's going to last exactly an hour, which is...
What's the next one? Exactly 1 hour?
Yeah.
Exactly 1 hour. Jesus!
No.
that's
2 tracks
so-
cannot last 1 hour.
Dude, most races so far took like 5 minutes.
Oh!
And we have 10 minutes until it's like been an hour.
Okay.
Imagine 1 hour track. Jesus. Lagerrock, Andrew isn't in the call anymore, so he can stop asking him for meat bag or something like that. Jesus. Yeah, 5 laps is too much actually. Tomato flip! No! What's next? Just most of the time. I love how Ender just got to that part and stopped immediately. Ooh. Also, thanks for. What's next? Tunnel planes! The tomato will do the flips on the bridge. Come on, guys. Oh, more beer wagging. Yeah, no.
Could have actually made the jump.
Can you make the jump? Tomato power! Ah! I made it!
Holy shit.
I'm out. That report on.
Well,
Ah! Oh.
Vegas Ranch in the track pack yet.
nah, it will be
Oh, no.
this week, because I didn't update it yet, you know. Oh shit.
Ox. My ox. Oh,
Whoa.
what? What happened? So sleepy. You zap me, I zap you! Oh fuck. Alright. One, two, three, and
Shit.
oui, oui.
Tomato race.
Tomato land! Ah! Whee! How many fucking flips you guys doing to me? Oh, the guy's flip. Oh. No, it's not. What's next? Oh, I'm just having a shiver on the next race. Let's see what's gonna be. Oh! Oh! Terminated! Vic!
What?
I got terminated!
Huh?
Did you download mods?
What?
Did you download the mod track pack?
Yeah!
That's
That
why.
terminates you.
I did a warning that it's going to add. It's going to cause conflict with the IO pack.
I could guys have clearly missed me, so here are some new top 10 very quick facts about tomatoes. First, tomatoes originally came from Peru, where their Aztec name translated to plum thing with a navel. The scientific name for tomato is Lycopersicum, meaning wolf peach. People used to be afraid to eat tomatoes, thinking them poisonous due to their relation to belladonna or deadly nightshade plant. Tomatoes increase in weight as they ripen, even after harvesting. They were first brought to Europe in the mid-1500s. A tomato is a fruit. The confusion arose in the 1980s when the US Supreme Court made them a vegetable for taxation purposes. A fruit is the edible part of the plant containing seeds. A vegetable is stem, leaf, or there is no mention of tomatoes in either the Bible or in the complete works of Shakespeare. There are over 10,000 varieties of tomato. These come in a variety of colors including pink, purple, black, yellow. The largest ever tomato on record was picked in Oklahoma, USA in 1986. It weighed over 3.5 kilograms. What a meat bag, am I right? In Ohio, USA, they love tomatoes so much that tomato juice is the official state drink. What fucking disgusting. There are around 10,000 varieties of tomatoes worldwide. Tomato seedlings have been grown in space before. Bet you didn't know that, huh? Found at Walt Disney World Resort, Florida, USA, the largest single tomato plant in the world covers an area of 56.73 3 meters squared. That's bigger than an Olympic-sized swimming pool. La Tomatina is an annual festival in Spain where people throw 15,000 tomatoes at each other. Sounds massive. It's that tomatoes originally came from Peru. Believe it or not, tomatoes aren't always red. They can be yellow, pink, purple, black, and even. And with that being said, Qui-Gon's body goes up in flames as the Jedi Council inside Captain Panaka and the Handmaidens and about 100 Naboo. 20 other Jedi, Palpatine, Obi-Wan standing with Anakin, Jar Jar, Boss Nass, and 20 other Gungan warriors watch. There is a drum roll that stops. Dubs are released and the body is gone. Anakin looks to Obi-Wan. He is the one with the Force, Anakin. You must let go. What will happen to me now? I am your master now. I will become a Jedi. You will become a Jedi. I am already a Jedi, says Obi-Wan. To one side, the Mace Windu turns to Yoda. There is no doubt, the mysterious warrior was a Sith. Yoda, always two there are. No more. No, a master and an apprentice. Mace Windu. But which one was destroyed, the master or the apprentice? They give each other a concerned look. Children sing and throw flowers on the passing Gungan soldiers. The crowds cheer. It is a grand parade. Queen Amidala stands next to the Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin, Obi-Wan, C.O. Bibley, and the Jedi Council. R2 stands in front of the Queen's handmaidens and whistles at the parade. Queen Amidala and Palpatine smile at each other. The parade, there are Boss Nass and his guards, Jar Jar and General Seal. The Gungans ride Kaadu. They stop before the Queen and walk up to the steps to stand by their side. Boss Nass holds up the globe of peace. Everyone cheers. The parade marches on. End title.
Have a nice day. That said, I would not be very tempted to eat a black tomato.
We had some purple ones here.
Yeah, but when you see purple, you don't think rotten tomato.
No.
I've actually never seen a purple tomato before though.
They look a bit purple, but still red.
Yeah, I got. Oh no, Alex. Whoa, you actually made it.
Yes, because the tomato man. No one can handle the tomato quite like I can. Also, I'm not even paying attention, so I just went there through muscle memory. Oh, God.
No. Come on. There we go.
That. Gotta quit the game.